Welcome to Scorched Earth Toys review of CM's 1/18th scale ride armor. I'm going to begin this review by taking a look at the riding figure himself, then I'll pull out the motorcycle, and then we'll look at it in transformed mode, or armor mode. As you can see right off the bat, a lot of pre-painted detail on the toy. You'll notice the same thing with the motorcycle. The helmet visor goes up and down. There are ball joints at the hip, knee, ankle. The shoulders go up and down and spin around. And if you want to, you could even pull them right out. The head is also a ball joint. Elbows have the double joint ability to come all the way up like so. And there's a swivel at the chest. Kneecaps, for whatever reason, also articulated. That's about it. The range of motion on some of the ball joints is a little hemmed by the size of the leg armor, but usually it's not too bad. The hands pop off. There are two separate hands that come with the toy. Well, with the Ray toy at least. There might be more that come with other versions. Visit anymoon.com. I'll have pictures of the inserts of each toy so you can see which ones come with what accessories. Okay, let's take a look at the motorcycle now. Alright, here's motorcycle mode, or here is the motorcycle. There's a lot of pre-painted detail. You can see that right off the bat. There's a storage compartment on the back, pops right off, opens up, but it just reveals that there's a screw that is through the middle of it. No big deal. Alright, so then there is the back fairing. It's got a kickstand on it. The kickstand comes off almost with a breath, and then becomes one of the most frustrating things ever. So that's something to look out for, particularly on stick and raise ride armors. That thing just does not stay in there well enough, and so your riding figure will bump it, it'll fall off, you'll have to put it back on, everything else will readjust, it'll look terrible. It's a fun little cycle. Alright. A cycle, pun intended, I guess. Alright, there you go. So, you put this together. Nothing really locks into place like it should, which I guess could be expected on a toy this small, but it's annoying. Alright, these things open up. You can slide them off if you don't like the look of them. There you go. Going around. There's a peg right here that would lock the character, the rider, on in place. You don't need it. I wouldn't use it. The headlights can be loose on some toys, and so you'll be constantly readjusting them if you're looking for motorcycle mode. On Ray's in particular, the gun doesn't reach the peg it's supposed to. It's kind of trying to right there, but that's because this is coming apart. So if you were to move it at all, the gun's going to move. And note the wheels don't really move on these toys. So if that's something that matters to you, it doesn't really happen here. This shoulder piece on my toy, really loose, so that's kind of annoying. These pieces right here, and I'll just spin it around so you can see the other one, can get tucked in. Look, there's the kickstand piece, or footrest falling off. These can fall right off too. I'm going to push this one on to get it on there a little tighter. Even these pieces right here can fall off the toy. So lots of stuff that can fall apart randomly. So that's obviously pretty annoying. I'm going to try to put the figure on it without messing everything up, even though the foot pad has already fallen off. But there's lots of pictures on anymoon.com that show you that you can make really good riding poses with the figure on the bike. There we go, something like that. Now, obviously you'd want them hunched over and grabbing the handlebars, but I'm not going to bore you trying to do that while you watch. So, lots of problems obviously. Let's move on to armor mode and see how that fares. I don't do transformation videos, but I am going to pause here and show off a couple attributes of the CM's ride armor. First, it's kind of neat that, one second, so much of it is one piece. The Mega House, you'll find you have to thoroughly disassemble and reassemble again. A couple more strengths. These nubs slide into the hips of the rider figure, which helps make things much sturdier when they're actually put together. Also, this portion pegs into the crotch of the rider figure. As you can see, I've got the rider figure disassembled. It makes it a little bit easier to fit him in there, but not necessarily something that you have to do. Another item that you should be aware of is this windscreen. You should never, ever, ever touch it, especially on the first couple releases. They just seem to fall right off in the breeze. I've heard some people got theirs with that piece already falling off the toy. Alright, let's move on to the armor mode. Okay, here is armor mode in all of its glory. As you can see, the toy is currently standing on its own, but the balance is pretty delicate, as I could probably prove. There she goes. Yeah, so it easily topples over in this mode. Most extreme or even moderate poses are going to cause the toy to fall down. So what you're going to need to use is this little stand that comes with the toy. Looks like a plastic twig and essentially is a plastic twig. So before I go into that too much, the hip gauntlets actually have the attachment to the knee, which is a nice little feature that kind of shows off that the armor mode is really a power suit, and the rider is not really meant to be carrying around all that extra armor. As I mentioned in the bike mode review, the headlight's loose, so if you touch the armor toy while handling it, you might very well screw those up. Also, as I pointed out in my character figure review, the hands are on there pretty gently, so those could be easily knocked off as well as these foot pads. So there's a lot to be conscious of as you handle the toy. I actually did not pull out this part, so I will do that now. It's a little tight, but these, as you can see by me doing it now, slide out, and then you have the little jet burners that are on the ends of the wheel. You should get those lined up. Alright, so like I showed you before, you can have a pose. You can then put this in and have more extreme poses. I won't get too crazy with it. You can see lots of cool poses over at anymoon.com. So really what begs the question here is, this toy is so fiddly, why would anyone really enjoy it? And people do enjoy it. And it's because for a 1/18 scale toy, it looks pretty good. And with a lot of patience and effort in either mode, you can pull some really nice looking poses off. Is it ever going to be a fun toy to play with? No. Is the Mega House vastly superior? No. Is the Beagle vastly superior? Yes, but it's also vastly more expensive. So that is kind of your ride armor rundown in a nutshell. For more, visit anymoon.com. I'll have line art comparisons and comparisons to other toys. Thank you for your time. Bye.